What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod and I'm coming at you today with a video to talk about the differences between DevPro and Dueling Network, and ultimately, which one I prefer. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys can already guess which one that is based off the type of videos that I upload on my channel, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you my reasonings behind that decision. Now the other day I was watching a Mega Capital G video where he was dueling up on DN, and at some point in the video he paused and then it kind of cut. And he came back and said, sorry about that. I had to cut 30 minutes out of the video while we waited for an admin to show up and give us a decision on a ruling. And I remember thinking about that afterwards, after he said that. I was like, oh my God. I cannot imagine sitting there for 30 minutes waiting for an admin, both players kind of bickering back and forth. You know, no, I've got the correct ruling, no, you're wrong, no, I'm right, no, you're wrong, and just both people getting really salty about the duel itself and each other, and that kind of stuff is really what turns me off about Dueling Network, waiting for rulings and stuff like that. I cannot stand that aspect of Dueling Network in general. But it's not just that, even though that is a big component. I was watching a video by Mickey Vlogs recently where I guess his opponent was kind of repeatedly, you know, berating him with insults and stuff, and you know, eventually he just kind of was like, you know what, we're just going to wait for the admin. And then when the admin showed up, the admin immediately gave Mickey a game loss and proceeded to ban him. When Mickey confronted the admin about it, the admin threatened him with an IP ban and a perma ban and all these kind of things. You know, he was getting really frustrated with the situation, like, how come I can't explain my side? How come, you know, why am I getting banned for something like this? And I remember a story that Brain Freeze Laser told me once too, where his opponent was doing a similar thing with just like berating him over and over again with insult, and he got tired of putting up with it and signaled for an admin, had to wait a really long time. And once the admin showed up, he was like, what's going on? And Brain Freeze said that he told him, you know, can you just make the game a draw, because I can't duel with this person with the way they're acting. They're being very childish, they're, you know, being immature, they're slinging insults left and right, and it's not just good sportsmanship, and I don't think we should have to duel like that. And the admin essentially just told him, no, make a move or you're going to lose the duel. And you know, he refused to make a move or to continue dueling with that person, so he got a game loss. And then when Brain Freeze messaged the admin, was like, hey, I don't think that was right for you to give me a game loss for not wanting to duel with someone who was being, you know, very, you know, unsportsmanlike and just very insulting in general. It's not the right thing. And the admin was like, you know, if you message me about this again, I'm going to ban you. And he was just really upset that, you know, that the admin would take that kind of attitude with him when all he wanted was like some reasoning or to explain himself about what was going on. And those kind of things up on Dueling Network really kind of what turned me away from it. Now, DevPro is not without its own faults. There's a lot of things that people do not like about it. One of the things is that since it is automated, unlike Dueling Network, where you have to manually place cards down, know when to activate them and whatnot, DevPro will actually ask you if you want to activate a card effect if it's able to be activated at that time. So, if your opponent summons a monster and activates an effect, DevPro will ask you, do you wish to use your effect veiler now? And you could be like, yes or no. But on Dueling Network, if your opponent would have summoned a monster and activated an effect, and you did not manually discard your effect veiler out of your hand to the graveyard, you would have missed out on your opportunity to negate your opponent's monster effect. Now, since DevPro does work this way, it kind of works almost in the opposite effect at times by letting your opponent have little clues to what you might hold in your hand. So, if it goes to your opponent's turn and you have nothing on the field that can be activated, and all of a sudden you're waiting for your opponent to get past their standby phase, you're like, what is it doing? Why does it say waiting? A lot of players have come to notice that perhaps they have maybe a max C or something that can be activated to the hand at any point. So before, you know, you leave the standby phase, DevPro is asking, hey, before you leave standby phase, do you want to activate your max C? And that can be kind of a telltale sign, so people will try and play around that. So it's giving your opponent information they would not normally already have, and that's one of the reasons that people tend to not like DevPro, because there's like an unavoidable way giving that information to your opponent. Now, there is controls to where you can skip past those questions being asked, but typically most duelists don't hold down that certain key that allow you to to skip past that function. They just play through with the options continually asking. Also, a big problem with DevPro is accidentally misclicking on something a certain way. I was watching a video from Asian Eyes White Dragon the other day, and I watched where he meant to summon his card D, and he accidentally set it on his first turn. Now, no one would normally set a card D on their first turn, so if you were playing on Dueling Network and you accidentally hit set card D, you could just flip it back up and be like, I misclicked, I'm sorry, and your opponent would obviously understand that you didn't mean to set a card D, that you just accidentally misclicked, because no one would normally do something like that, especially on their first turn. And then you can go ahead and just activate your card D's effect, whereas Asian Eyes then just had to deal with the fact that he set a card D on first turn for absolutely no reason. Ultimately, like many things in Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's going to come down to player preference, which one you prefer to use, whether it be Dueling Network or DevPro/YGO Pro, whichever one you're using. Everyone has an opinion on which is better and why. For me personally, I like using DevPro more. I come to enjoy the duels I have on there more than the ones that I used to have on Dueling Network. The thing that used to bug me the most about Dueling Network was inconsistent rulings, or people that didn't understand them, or waiting for admins to try and straighten out the situation. DevPro fixes these situations by making everything automated. Plus, I really enjoy the replay function that DevPro offers, so if there was a duel that I had that I wasn't screen recording at the time, I can always save it and then use it later. I will say that the thing I miss most about Dueling Network sometimes is the way that the players actually have to interact with each other. On DevPro, sometimes it can almost feel like you're playing against just the computer or something, as you don't really ever have to communicate verbally with your opponent in the duel. Also, there is no watchers chat function per se. People can kind of join into the duel and tag in conversation spots, but there's no continuous watchers chat for you to kind of go through, and I kind of miss all that as well. So in the comment section below, remember to let me know which one you prefer and why. Is it DevPro or is it DN? And I guess that's going to do it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.